I saw this yesterday, and it did have the official power rankings for MLB going into the season from CBS Sports. But they had another part of the conversation that I wanted to dive into, and that is the biggest rivalries in Major League Baseball for 2024. Now, Mike, I have the top 5, so I can go start at 5 and go to 1, or we can just dive in right immediately on where we think the Rangers are in this.
I would assume after last year's playoffs and them both tying with what Alex Bregman said after they won the division that Sunday afternoon, and then after what Corey Seager said on November 3rd or 2nd or whatever date it was after winning the World Series on that stage, that the Astros and the Rangers have to be pretty high on this list, and they play each other 7 times in like the first 14 games of the season for both teams.
I think that's going to come up again on the, not today's show, but that'll definitely come up again very soon. Number 1 on CBSSports.com's biggest rivalries for Major League Baseball in 2024. The Astros came out of the AL in 2017, 19, 21, and 22. They won the World Series twice in that time frame, once legally. The other time they won by cheating. The Rangers have come out of last season winning their first ever World Series title. That alone would put them in a pretty intriguing, like that by itself is pretty intriguing. As somebody texted in the 806, for the first time ever, the Rangers and Astros are real contenders, and they have bad blood. I can't wait. The silver boot means even more now. I agree. Like, just the simple fact that a competitive team versus another competitive team goes there. Now, the Astros owned the regular season last year. They went 9-4 with a plus 19 run differential. And Mike, I think that plus 19 all came in one game where we all watched home run after home run go out of the ballpark, and we were like, was it Nate Eovaldi that struggled in that game, in one of those games too? It was one of his like rehab games, I believe.
Yeah, and Max Scherzer versus Verlander didn't work out our way.
They ended up knotted at 90 and 72 head-to-head record, put in favor of the Astros, and then the Rangers end up having the moments, man. Game 5, Adolis Garcia, home run. Garcia hit by a pitch. Bench is clear. Only to see Altuve hit a 3-run shot to turn the series on its head. And then Game 6, Adolis Garcia booed all night in Houston. Went 0 for 4. 4 strikeouts. And then hit a grand slam in his last at bat. And then there was the big deal about the Rangers popping champagne last year. And then there was, as you said, Mike, the Corey Seager moment when he hops up on the stage to do the line. Now, as we've learned, I do believe there was some pot stirring by one of the players on the team that told Seager, because Seager doesn't love to do interviews. He doesn't love to do speaking stuff. But one of the players was like, hey, if you want to get off that stage really quickly, you could just say this. And he was like, all right. So he goes up there, massive cheer from everybody. Everybody goes nuts. And now these two teams get to pair up. They first face off April 5th, as Mike was pointing out, in Arlington. The following weekend, the rivalry heads to Houston. So this is interesting to me because and it feels like my entire life, it's been Yankees-Red Sox as the rivalry.
I get it.
And the Rangers were never involved in that conversation. Because even when they went to their World Series, the Yankees were the rival. You had to beat the Yankees to get what you wanted. And now the Astros have kind of taken on that persona of they are the team that they're like San Francisco. You got to beat them. If you want to do it, that's the team you got to deal with to get there. But the Rangers did it. And so now I'm kind of curious because somebody just asked this, Mike. Now I'm asking, is this really going to be this spicy of a season between this team? Because from the 817, who plunks who first?
It's Houston's turn.
It's Houston's
to
turn.
Plunk us.
Okay. And that's how it works. That's really how it works. So so Bochy knows in Arlington, the weekend of April 5th, somebody now
is Chas McCormick got hit by Aroldis Chapman to end the series.
And Chapman's not even here anymore.
Right, but Chas is still there, and it still was the Rangers.
And it's still the
they
blood.
took the title away. Hopefully, in a way, I think we hope it doesn't pass, that we do see real physical wanting to fight each other. But I do think it's going to be very good baseball. Both teams are high-powered offensive teams. But I can see where Houston's like, we're not letting this go. We're going to...
It's a different manager, too, though. Like, that's another thing. I do wonder, because Dusty Baker has, if he was still there, he would have to carry it over. I do wonder if the other manager's like, nope, clean slate. I'm moving on from that. But he was there too.
Yeah.
He was with the club, so there's probably a high probability he doesn't take that away.
It's going to be very interesting. And I know you don't play each other as much anymore. So the tough thing is after playing Houston so much early on in the year, there's going to be a major lull of playing them again. But I love that it's scheduled quickly for the entertainment purposes.
Is what you're talking about whenever you're like, now it's their turn. Is that for the team or is it for us?
No, it's for protecting your guys.
Okay.
Like if you thought like
so this isn't a show. I
know the game
us.
has changed and maybe Houston will not. I think they will. But we know you got one of our guys. You kicked our butt. Fine, you kicked our butt. At the end, and look, the Rangers felt deservedly so. That's what you guys did to Garcia.
Yeah.
You guys went and got Garcia, got him kicked out of the game. That kick out caused a whole bunch of things to happen where there was stalling and Ryan Presley came in and he shut us down and they hit the home run and hey, and so we got you back. But Houston might go, hey, we don't, fine. But we're not letting you guys get the last call on this one. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, don't forget Chas McCormick did post it, right?
Yeah. Like a week or so later.
Was nasty looking too. His wife was all upset about it and everything.
So it's not so much for us, but I do think we love it. As much as we're like, oh, clean up the game, this and that. Let's face it. A major part of entertaining of baseball is when both teams hate each other and when guys start getting hit by pitches and then benches start clearing.
Yeah.
Because if the Rangers get hit, I'm just throwing this out here. What if it is Adolis Garcia again in the ribs? Aren't we going to be like, all right, where's Altuve? Where's Yordan Alvarez? Where's Alex Bregman? Aren't we going to be like, all right, let's get them back? And that's entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that guys aren't going to get suspended or fined, but it's entertaining to us.
Okay, let me ask you this then, because that part of it, because nobody's going out to right field to punch somebody like that. That's just, you don't see that happen.
It's a long run.
Yeah. It is a long run. It's exhausting by the time you get there. But like it all happens plate and mound. Like that's where everything takes place. How do you choose the player? How do you choose which? Because they chose Adolis for a specific reason.
Right. Because of hitting the home run.
He's the guy that'll show out. He'll do those things. But they also knew that he's the heartbeat of the club, or the pizzazz.
They also know that he is probably
emotional.
The one most emotionally unstable. That if we do this, he will get out of his game plan.
Yes.
Right. And he will overswing and he will swing at balls. And for that, when you're talking about 0 for 4. We felt like, oh no, not only did they hit Adolis and get him kicked out of that game and they stole game 5 from us, but now Adolis is outside of himself and not being disciplined at the plate. Luckily, he hits the big home run to end game 6 for the most part, and then he takes that and has a great game 7. So they usually pick it based off of star status. Nothing against Ezekiel Duran or Josh Smith or let's just say Nate Lowe. Good players. They help their Texas Rangers, but they're going to pick either Simeon, Seager, or Adolis most likely.
Okay, I was kind of curious on the young kids.
I don't know if they will or not.
Okay. Because that seems like an even more of an attack.
The opportunity has to present itself.
True.
Both teams know winning the game is more important than sending a message. Sending a message can be important, but usually you wait for the right opportunity. And where's the right opportunity? 2 outs, nobody on, 4th inning, and I don't feel comfortable facing Corey Seager. I don't really want to throw him a strike. It's a short porch in Houston. Let's just peg him and send the message and put him on first base. And now I'm facing, I think most likely Wyatt Langford. I think
Okay.
Wyatt Langford's going to bat third this year. I'd rather face Langford right now than I'd rather face Seager. So sometimes it's not like sometimes there is a specific player you have to get. But when it's just repaying the other team for what you felt like was unnecessary, sometimes it's about, I just need the opportunity to present itself. There was nothing against Chas McCormick. Chas did nothing in that series to deserve getting 100 miles an hour from Chapman. The opportunity was there. 2 outs, nobody on. We're going to win this game. I need one more out. I don't want to start off the inning by hitting a guy because now that puts a guy on base. There is a penalty. There is a penalty for hitting somebody. They get to go to first base for free.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I guess
their potential
I understand you want the penalty to be worse. I totally get that. I'm not arguing that, but there is a penalty. Sometimes people are like, there's no penalty for hitting a guy. Well, the reason that pitchers decide to hit players in certain situations is they feel like the penalty's not going to be that bad. And the penalty with 2 outs and nobody on is not that bad. The score is 7-2 in the 8th inning. We probably lost this game. We're probably not going to score 6 runs in the 9th inning. This is an opportunity to get somebody. So that's where sometimes it doesn't specifically have to be a guy. Sometimes it is a guy slides too hard into second base or something like that. You're like, let's get him. But in this scenario, I don't think it has to be Garcia. I don't think it has to be Corey Seager, but it probably has to be one of the guys that was an impact player last year in the playoffs.
And again, Mike's dead on. Right there at the top of April, you get a very fun
I did look at that series. I know the Chicago series is pretty much sold out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you look at that, then they go to Tampa and then they come back home and take on Houston. If you want to go, it's going to be a blast, but you're going to have to pay secondary market prices.
Yeah, that's tough. By the way, Mike, Phillies, Braves came in at second, Yankees, Orioles at third, D-backs and Dodgers, based obviously off what happened last year. And then their number 5 was pick your poison in the National League Central. Just any of those teams, and you can just throw out that it's going to be fun rivalries. I
do think, obviously, there's the built-in one of San Francisco and L.A. and them just adding Blake Snell. San Francisco, that's an interesting division. L.A.'s, I think, way better than everybody, but Arizona's a good team. I think San Francisco, to me, I like San Francisco on paper to maybe sneak into the playoffs. Colorado's not good, so you don't have to worry about them. And San Diego's not bad. They're not, I mean, they did just trade for Dylan Cease. They believe that they have something there.
So 2 of Boch's former teams, we got to make sure that they don't win the World Series this year.